And what is your highest priority in legislation you would introduce or support at the General Assembly? 1 minute.
My first priority would be education, because currently right now in the far northeast, our schools are failing. And this is mainly because of the charter school reform movement, and it is not conclusive to our children in the far northeast. This is something that current Angela Williams represents, our current school board members, Landry Taylor and Happy Haynes, also support. But this is something that our children in the far northeast and the community members do not support.
All right, Ms. Williams, your response, 1 minute.
My highest priority, number one, is student education. And I mentioned that in my opening comments. At the state capitol, again, while we are still not quite at the pre-recession levels for funding, we need to make sure that we continue to fund education. I believe every child deserves an opportunity at an education. Our proficiency levels in the greater far northeast have done nothing but rise. We have some of the best schools in this district. DSST is one of those high-performing schools. It is a charter school. Sometimes when our schools fail, we may need to close them, but we need to give parents choices. And in House District 7, our parents have choices and can choose those schools that are best for their students.
Okay, let's move to our next question. Ms. Williams, you'll be first on this. Deals with a national and really international topic. The recent incident in Ferguson, Missouri drew national, if not international, attention to possible racial tensions in that community. What is your view of racial relations in the district that you would represent? 1 minute response time.
House District 7 is a very diverse community. And what happened in Ferguson is happening all over this country. It's happening to kids right here in our state. And we need to make sure that when we have these issues, that we make sure that we are representing those who have been hurt. We need equality in this state and in this country, and all people should be treated equally. I stood this past weekend with Marvin Booker's family at Shorter AME Church. That was an injustice that we need to make justice, and we need to make sure all people have justice and equality in our state and in our district.
Okay, Ms. Valentine, 1 minute to respond to the same question.
Yes, Ferguson, Missouri was a tragedy, and it's currently happening all around the country, and especially here in Denver, Colorado. But one of the things that I have not seen is our current representative standing up for justice for the homeless, for mass incarceration, for the current mass incarceration that's currently going on, and the discrimination against jobs, against women, against children, currently here in the state.
Okay, let's move to our next question from our partners this evening, and Elet, you'll be first on this one. 1 minute response. What are the two biggest issues facing your constituency? How would you deal with these in the state legislature?
The two biggest roadblocks are education and the economy. Right now, like I said, our schools are failing, and we have lack of jobs and underemployment. You have currently people who are overqualified, have part-time jobs, who are not able to feed and provide for their families. They're currently working on a third or a half of a paycheck, but they're expected to pay full-time bills. The people of Colorado and the district are struggling. They need help. As far as education, you have, true enough, you do have one school that is succeeding the SST, but that is the only school that is succeeding in this district.
All right, let's move to Ms. Williams, 1 minute response.
Thank you. The top two priorities in our district, I believe, is one, education. Again, we need to make sure that our students are receiving a quality education, and my voting record shows that we support that. We need to make sure that parents have choices of where to send their children. We need to ensure that children that need extra help get that help. We need to make sure we have the resources. We need to make sure we have teachers in our school that reflect our communities. The second priority is job training and job creation. There's so many people in this district and in this state who have been affected by the recession. And in the state legislature, I have passed bills that will create job training. I will be introducing legislation next year so that we can help job seekers and those who may need to be retrained.
All right, thank you ladies both for both of those responses. Our next question also comes from our partners.